These are the sweatiest settings for Chapter 6 Season 3 after the new aim assist update on controller. A lot of people like to say what the best settings are, but that's really personal preference on what is the best and what's not the best. So I'll just go ahead and say these settings are absolutely crazy and will turn you into a monster on the sticks. These settings work for any controller player, whether you play on console or PC. I'm only going to be calling out the settings that are the most important, and the other settings you can copy down as we go through the video. Starting off with the video settings. If your setup allows 120 FPS mode, you definitely need to have this setting turned on. That is a no-brainer. Brightness 150%. There is shadows on console, so having your brightness to 150% will get rid of the shadows. User interface contrast, I had this set to the default 1x. This doesn't do anything besides make your menu and stuff darker. The only colorblind mode that I would recommend is try to note 5. I've tried every colorblind mode and every colorblind strength, and this is absolutely the best colorblind mode. It also makes everything brighter. So this gets rid of any of the excess shadows on console, and also allows you to see in storm and see enemies and weapons more clearer. Motion blur, I have the setting turned off. It also increases input delay. User interface parallax is turned off. This doesn't really do anything. Some menu like the item shop may have parallax effect. That's just your item shop. Advanced graphics, show FPS. I already know I have a stable 120 FPS, and sometimes it gets even higher than that, so there's no reason for me to have this setting turned on unless I just want to show off my FPS. This setting also gives you input delay. Viewport performance stats, I have this setting disabled. Now onto the audio settings. Most people have their main volume setting set to 100. Usually I'd have my set to 100 as well, but I caught a little bit of a migraine today, so I turned it down to 75, and I think I'm gonna stick with 75 for a while. It's pretty solid. Music, I had to set to 1%. My lobby music is 100%. Sound effects 100%. My dialogue is set to 100%. My voice chat is on 20%. My cinematics is 100%, and my picture-in-picture is 50%. 3D headphones, I have the setting turned off, but on my PlayStation, I have the setting turned on. Subtitles, I don't mess with this. Visualize sound effects definitely need to be on. It allows you to track your opponents better and also see their footsteps from almost a mile away. Creator options, that's all personal preference. My voice chat settings. Okay, now the game settings. My matchmaking region is set to auto. Auto picks the server with the best connection, so I had to set it turn to auto. Okay, now for the movement settings. Toggle sprint on. Auto open doors, I have the setting turned on. Mental activation, hold jump. Proto activation, press jump. For my combat settings, hold the short pickup, I have the setting turned on. Toggle targeting off. Auto equip better weapons, I have that on. Mark danger when targeting is on. Auto pick out weapons, I definitely have this setting turned on. For the simple fact that if I stand in front of a chest with this setting turned on and the enemy opens the chest, all the weapons will come to me. So it's like a cheat code. Prefer iron slash, that's our personal preference. Auto sort consumables to the right is a very good setting, so I have that setting turned on. Reset building choices on with turbo building on. Simple edit off. Disable pre-edit option, I have that setting turned on. My auto confirm edits is on none. I probably recommend both if you're on PC, but I did not recommend having that setting turned to none. Contextual tips on. Tap the search interact is on. Low input latency mode on. Low input latency mode doesn't really matter because I have 120 FPS mode enabled, so this setup doesn't really apply to me. My minimum field of view is 70 degrees and my maximum is 100 degrees. Replays, you need to have all these settings turned off because it gives you input delay, and my energy saving is on never. Now for the game UI settings. Reticle on, reticle ammo indicator is off. The ammo indicator popping up by my crosshair every 5 seconds is very distracting, so I had this setting turned off. My damage numbers are set to cumulative. Reticle damage feedback is off. Damage number scale 100%. HUD scale 62%. Show spectator count, I like to have this setting turned off. Net debug stats, I have that setting turned off as well. Net debug stats also gives you input delay, but a lot of pros have this setting turned on because they have $10,000 PCs, so the setting doesn't really apply to them as much. Now for my gyro options, I have all of these settings turned off or to the lowest to reduce input delay. You don't want to use any of these settings if you're not using gyro options. Same thing goes for the mouse and keyboard because I am on controller. Okay, now for the controller settings. Controller all around, I had this setting turned off. Build immediately, builder pro is on. Edit hold time is set to the lowest so I can edit faster. Slide hold time is to the highest just in case I misclick and slide by accident. Reset camera access is pitch. Vibration is turned off. This gives you input delay. My look horizontal speed is 50% and my look vertical speed is 60%. Having your look horizontal speed and vertical speed set to 50 and 60 allows you to be quicker on exponential so you're not as stiff with instant boost and building turned on. My ADS look horizontal and vertical is both set to 16%. Scope speed multiplier, I had the setting turned to 0.85. Scope speed multiplier is good at 0.85 to give you stickier aim. Exponential aim assist strength is both set to 100. If anybody tells you to lower your aim assist strength down under 100%, do not listen to them. It is a scam. Left and right stick dead zone is both set to 9% because it allows you to have no delay. And if you set this too low, you may have some stick drift. And if you set this too high, you may be too stiff. So having this in between 9% is perfect. Now for the binds, one setting that I will touch up on is the edit section. One of the most important edit binds is having a different edit bind and a different confirm. This allows you to have double edit binds, which makes it quicker to edit. If you have the same edit bind and the same confirm, that means you have to click the same button twice, which gives you so much delay when you go to edit. Select and set the R2, confirm and set the R1, reset is L1, and my edit bind is L3. You guys can copy this down, but make sure you copy everything down exactly how it is. Now you guys want to be careful when you're copying the bond because if you misclick anything, it can mess up your settings a lot. The controller mapping has a bunch of different options, so it's super easy to mess up. Just be careful. Another thing I want to touch up on is make sure for your building settings, have a button for crouch, tap, slide, hold, repair, hold. Have a button for that so you can crouch while having your builds out. This is mainly used for dropping and sliding down ramps. I'll show you guys a little brief example of what I mean inside of my IAMQUEEZY 1v1 map. Now I can crouch while having my builds out and do that fancy little drop tech that the pros players always do. I can also stop whenever I want. I can even jump off it and do it again, which is kind of cool. A lot of people making settings videos is not touching up on that setting, so make sure you turn that on. Fortnite just released a new aim assist update up to 50% for controller, and these are the best settings for the new update. You want to start off by going to your reticle damage feedback and turning the pull reticle setting off. Then switch your damage number to cumulative and head over to use advanced options. Turn this setting off and switch your look sensitivity and your aim sensitivity to 3% and turn the setting back on. It doesn't take long to get comfortable with these settings at all. And if it does, just give it about a week and I promise you these settings will have you going crazy. But without further ado, let's get into the gameplay. Oh my! Get out of here. Who's that? Donatella Raphael. What gun is this? The hunting rifle? This thing is feeling goated, bro. Broski had a crown. If that guy had a crown, anybody can have a crown. I think they made this a little bit better. I just be me a freaking shoddy, bro. Thunder. It's like in here. That was right there. Wait, how do you even get that? Can't drive the cars, bro. What? Troll, bro. Isn't this the same exact dude? The same exact dude, bro. Bro, how did he drop back so fast? How did he drop back so fast, bro? But that was the fastest I ever seen anybody reload. Where the players at, bro? Yup. Through the tree? Oh no, wait, I didn't get the kill for that. I tagged him. Got him. Bro, I got freaking like so much minis, bro. This guy would kill me. So in this. Where's this going? Over here. GG. Let's go, bro. Full on crazy. First one of the new reload. Let's go. And I got the crown win. Crazy. We almost ranked there twice off that too. $18 kills. I'll take it.